Welcome to the True Communication, the podcast style interview series by Super Resources Academy. My name is Perseus Udachia, and I am a leadership communication coach and the founder of Super Resources Academy. Through this podcast style interview series, our aim is to speak to great leaders from across industries and try to understand what is it that helped them become successful. So let's learn from them. Today we have a very special guest. This gentleman is a mechanical engineer from the College of Engineering, Pune. He's also a certified marine engineer. He has spent 43 years in various sectors like marine, oil and gas, industrial engineering. He has worked for various renowned organizations like Great Eastern Shipping Company, Barbership Management, Flowserve Sanmar, and also KSB Ltd. In fact, he has played a very key role at KSB Ltd as their Vice President of Sales and Marketing, spearheading their domestic and export sales for their comprehensive product portfolio, including their nuclear business. Now, he has retired from KSB Ltd. It's been about a year, but he continues to be associated with them and supports them on the sales and marketing side, particularly for their nuclear business. Not only that, outside of the corporate world, he's also very active. He's also currently the Pune chapter chair of WZCC, which stands for World Zartusti Chamber of Commerce. WZCC has a single pointed focus, and that is to support and encourage the entrepreneurial spirit among its community members. So the person I'm talking about is none other than Mr. Farrokh Bhathena. Welcome, Mr. Bhathena. It is such a pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you very much, Perseus. Thank you for inviting me. And I'm also very happy to be a part of your show.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And it's so amazing to see somebody like you who has so much of experience across industries, various roles. Now, my first question to you, Mr. Bhathena, is that, and this is very specific to audiences who are like mid-career professionals, who have come up to a certain point in their career and they have focused for the most part, on acquiring their technical skills and domain knowledge and becoming really good at their job. And they've come to a certain point, but then a lot of them are feeling that they are now sort of stuck. It's a kind of a plateau that they've hit. It's a glass ceiling they're not able to break. It's a barrier they're not able to get past. So what is your advice? I mean, what has it taken you to move to the next level? Do you think that there are a set of skills that are different as compared to the skills that you acquired until you were about a mid-career professional? Do you think that the skills that take you to the next level are different? If they are, then what were those skills that you acquired that enabled you to move to the next level in your career, be a part of the senior management team? And among them, do you think there's any one particular skill that you can give almost entire credit to for achieving all the success that you have in your life?
Yeah. So I think everyone goes through this phase. When you start off in your career, you reach up to the middle management level based on the strength of your technical knowledge and your technical skills. But at that particular stage, what will differentiate you, what will single you out for a higher responsibility or a bigger role in the management would be singularly your people management skills.
Absolutely.
Because once you have reached a middle management level, then probably at that point of time, either you are still working solo or you're working with a small team.
Sure.
But as you move up the hierarchy, as you move up what the senior management looks for a person who differentiates himself from the others, and that primarily comes from the way how he has been handling his small team and whether they feel that he is ready to take up the responsibilities and the challenges of handling a bigger team.
Yeah. Absolutely. So when you're saying people management, then I think it's pretty much the ability to sort of connect with people on a personal and emotional level, and to be such a communicator who's able to, sort of persuade people to take some sort of an action that is not only good for them, but is also in the interest of the organization, right? That is the kind of leadership that you are referring to. Somebody who's very articulate and a very powerful communicator. Am I right in saying this?
You're absolutely right. Communication plays a very, very important role as you move up the hierarchy and as your team size becomes bigger and bigger.
Right.
In my particular case, I was always handling sales and marketing. So specifically, communications becomes very, very important because it's not just internal communication between me and my team. It's also interdepartmental communication within the organization, and also how you communicate with your customers, because a sales and marketing role is essentially a role which is a face-to-face role. You're sitting in front of the customer most most of the time. So yes,
Absolutely.
communication is extremely important.
Absolutely.
And to emphasize this, a good communicator basically over a period of time builds a trust. A level
Right.
of trust develops between him and the person
Right.
who's sitting across the table, and this is
Right.
what helps him to get the job done.
Absolutely. No, that's a very, very valid point, and I hope our listeners are able to sort of draw a lot of value from this, because a lot of people I interact with, especially the mid-career professionals, they sometimes develop this attitude that I'm good at my job. I have my technical skills, my domain knowledge, and I'm able to achieve my objectives, and all of that is great. But despite of all those great things, they are still not able to get past those barriers, right? So if they want a certain promotion that they think they deserve, or certain salary hikes they feel they deserve, or they want a job in a company that they really want to work for, those things are still not happening. And in my personal opinion, I feel that a lot of people today are lacking visibility and exposure, right? So yes, their work does the talking, but I think beyond a point it does not, because I think it is also very important for you to be visible, right? The senior management team needs to notice you, to know that
Right.
you're a great performer, right? So what are
Right.
those few things these say mid-level managers can actually do to get the visibility and exposure that they truly need to move to the next level in their career?
Yeah. So what I would say is that you're absolutely right. Visibility is very important in the organization, because you may be an excellent performer, but if the person at the top or the senior management team is not aware of your contributions,
Mm.
then obviously you will tend to be overlooked. So
Correct.
what needs to be done is, of course, that the visibility, as you rightly mentioned, has to be, you have to do certain things which would make you visible in the organization.
Correct.
So, for example, if you are at a middle management level, and you will definitely be part of certain meetings where senior management is present, and that is your
Correct.
platform where
Absolutely.
would project yourself in such a way, the
Correct.
confidence that you demonstrate when you are interacting in a meeting with this where senior management is present, that is what will draw the attention of the senior
Absolutely.
management. And
Absolutely.
once that happens, then you're on the right path. So
Absolutely.
basically, again, it boils down to you being a good communicator, because in a
Absolutely.
meeting where there are, say, maybe 10 people sitting, you have to be articulate enough to put your point forward.
Absolutely.
And obviously, you should know your subject well,
Yes.
and you should be able to, you probably get in a meeting of half an hour, maybe 5 or 7 minutes to put your point of
Yes.
view forward. And
Yes.
how you
Very
best
true.
make use of this time to put your
Yes.
point forward and get it accepted.
Yes.
That is what sets you apart from the rest. And
Very
that, I
true.
think, is a very, very important thing. So that once in a couple of meetings this happens, then
Yes.
obviously people come to know that you are a person who has to be heard, who knows
Correct.
his subject,
Yes.
and he is going to be an asset to the organization as the organization grows.
Correct.
As the organization grows, more opportunities open up within the organization. And
Correct.
obviously, once you have been identified as a person who has it in him to go further up
Yes.
the hierarchy, then of course your path is laid out for
Absolutely.
you.
Fantastic. So, in essence, you're saying that powerful communication is almost entirely responsible for helping you move to the next level in your career, right? Am I correct in
Absolutely.
saying that?
Yes, you are right. You are right. But
Wonderful.
here I would say that, especially, I mean, I come from an engineering background,
Yeah.
and obviously, our meetings tend to be highly technical.
Sure.
Not
Sure.
that we don't
That's
discuss
fine.
on commercial
Yes.
topics in a sales
Yes.
meeting, but
Yes.
your communication, one is that you have to know your subject, so
Yes.
that when
Of
you
course.
speak, people know that you are speaking. You're coming from a place of knowledge. You know what you are talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A
Yeah.
person may be a good speaker, but that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that he's a good communicator. If he's not able to
Absolutely.
talk about
Agreed.
his subject,
Yes. Very
he may
true.
be excellent, very fluent in English. He may
Yeah.
throw big words around when he's
Sure.
speaking, but the
Sure.
essence of the
Yeah.
topic is not conveyed, which cannot
Very true.
happen if you don't know your
Very true.
subject. Then everything is waste.
Totally agree, Mr. Bhatina. And I also personally feel that it is very important for every employee in the organization to get sort of an alignment with the founder's vision, Okay. Because I think when we speak, are we sounding like a leader or are we only sounding like an employee, right? So typically when people work in silos and they think that, okay, this is my job and that's all I know, I don't care about anything else. Now, with this mentality, with this kind of a vantage point, when anything you say, whatever comes out of your mouth, I don't think you sound like a business owner. So they feel that I'm an employee. Why should I sound like that, right? But I think that's where the gap is. Because if I am the founder of the company and somebody who's playing a key role in my organization starts to think like me, talk like me, right? The concerns are similar as mine. I will definitely see a leader in that person, right? Now, that is the way I think one needs to learn to sort of articulate their thoughts and ideas and the vision of the company, even not only inside the organization, but also outside the organization, right?
You're absolutely right.
Am I correct in saying this?
Absolutely right, Perseus. I would go to the extent of saying that the management expects that each team, if you are heading a particular team, you are responsible for all the actions of that team. And when you are speaking on behalf of the team, or when you are speaking to the team, that what you are speaking propagates what is the vision of the company and what is the vision of the management.
Absolutely.
And this is true whether you're speaking internally to your team or whether you're speaking externally to a customer.
Absolutely.
So, and what is expected today is that, like, for example, I was heading sales and marketing. So, complete responsibility. You don't expect that the managing director will take the responsibility of every function in the company. So, the person who is heading that particular function is expected to take the full responsibility. He is expected to take the ownership of that particular segment of the business. And if I have 5 or 6 teams reporting to me, the team leaders, I would expect they take the responsibility of their business.
Absolutely.
So if my company has given me a target that I have to say our profitability should be, say, 10%, just throwing a figure around, that same point has to be known to every single team leader as well as a team member, so that they will keep that vision or to keep that point in mind when they are speaking to a customer, when they are negotiating a particular project with a customer.
Very true. No, that's a very valid point, Mr. Bhatin. I think ownership and accountability are the watchwords over here. And so it is, of course, clear that when one is able to articulate their thoughts and ideas very effectively, that, of course, has a direct impact on their future career advancement. But what about the organization's success? Now, you being a sales leader, I'm sure you might have experienced this, that a lot of sometimes junior salespeople who come, they try their best to understand the product, the service, and all the technicality. They go to a customer and they can talk about products, features and functionality and all of those great things, but sometimes they're not able to articulate the value proposition very powerfully. They're not really able to highlight the business outcomes that they will experience. They're not able to take a story, right? They're not able to stir emotions in the audience well. They're not able to connect with people on a personal and emotional level. But on the other hand, if you take the founder of the company for that same discussion, that's a different level conversation altogether. So do you think that when not only salespeople, anyone in the organization, when they are not working on themselves, when they're not working on their personality, they're not enhancing their ability to communicate by understanding human psychology, do you think that has a direct impact on the performance of the organization as well?
Yes, it does. Absolutely. Because as you rightly said, in today's businesses, customers not expecting you to just come and sell a product. He is expecting to sell a value proposition, as you very rightly mentioned.
Yes.
He wants to know that if he buys your product, it's not a question of just paying an X amount of money to purchase the product. He is interested in knowing what is the cost of operating that product. He is interested in knowing what will happen when the product reaches the end of its life cycle. He is interested in knowing how he needs to dispose of that product once the life cycle of the product is over. So what you are selling to the customer is not a product. You are selling him, as you put it very correctly, a value proposition. And a value proposition, I'm of course bringing it down to a product because we sell products in our company, but it is applicable to everybody. Tomorrow, if you are in a finance company, again, when you are speaking to a customer, obviously you will be articulating the values that your company has and what is the value proposition that you would bring to your customer, being a person who is selling a financial product. Same thing would be applicable to somebody who's selling services.
Correct. I think what, especially for salespeople, they need to really understand that the value proposition is always different depending on the role of that person, right? So it's not only about the features and the functionality. What will it do for that particular person in that particular role? How will it simplify their life, right? So,
You're
and if they
absolutely
can
right.
complement it with a sort of a story, so that's a case study, right? But that is
Yeah.
relevant to this particular person, not only the company, but this particular person in this particular role, right?
Right.
If they are able
Right.
to articulate that well, they're able to connect with them on a personal and emotional level. I think it's a human to human connection, right? So when they like you as a person, they might consider all your products and all your services and everything because you understand their problems really well. You're not just trying to
That's,
sell, you're really
that's
trying to be, you have that service mindset, right?
correct.
And that is
Correct.
what I think changes everything in your conversation. Am I right?
You're absolutely right. And that is what I mentioned at the beginning of our conversation, that over a period of time, you tend to develop a trust. There's a trust
Yeah.
factor which develops between you and the person who you're speaking with. And
Correct.
that will only happen if your customer, or if your supplier, if you're in purchasing, or if you're in finance, your banker, whoever you're dealing with, he understands where you come from. He understands that you are speaking to him from a level of trust and honesty.
Absolutely.
And this is something which obviously will build up over a period of time. But once that trust is developed,
Yes.
then I think your path becomes much more easier. It becomes
Absolutely.
so much more simpler. Yeah.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Now, on a slightly different note, now we're seeing a lot of technological advancements and artificial intelligence coming into the picture. A lot of repetitive tasks are getting automated across industry. It's not only
Yeah.
IT, it's everywhere, right?
Very true.
Now,
Yeah.
that is having a direct impact on the job market. I'm not here to say that jobs won't remain. I'm saying
Yeah.
different jobs, different kind of jobs are going to be created. So
Right.
one needs to be get in alignment with the changing expectations of
Yeah.
employers, right?
Correct.
So what
Correct.
kind of expectations would employers now have going forward? Because AI is only going, I think we're not even scratching the surface yet. It's only going to get better and better and better. So with all
Yes.
of this automation kicking in, what do you
Mhm.
think are going to be those employers' expectations? If you can let our viewers know about that, so that they know what is it that they should be working on right now.
As you rightly said, with the advent of AI and robotics and things like that, a lot of mundane and routine jobs will get replaced because they will be done by AI and
Yeah.
similar softwares which will come up, which are already there, in fact. So
Yeah.
the kind of jobs which will open up will be totally different. The kind of jobs which will open up will be something where you know more about AI and you can implement
Correct.
what AI is about, and
Yeah.
you can implement it in your systems, in your
Yeah.
services, in your products,
Yeah.
etc.
Yeah.
So what I would, in my opinion, what a person would be looking for, obviously, our topic of communication still remains AI
Yes.
or not AI,
Yes.
because finally it's whether AI exists or AI doesn't
Yeah.
exist, or even if, as I said, AI is there. Finally, at the end of the day, it is two people who will be communicating with each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Very true.
your communication still remains as a very important skill that
Yeah.
you will need. But at the
Yes.
same time, I think what the new fields which would open up would probably be something related to AI, something related to
Yeah.
data,
Yeah.
data analysis. Data
Yeah.
analysis is going to be something which is going to be very big in future.
Yeah.
Data mining, things
Yes.
like that. This is
Very
what
true.
is going to happen.
Yes.
In the mechanical engineering field, also this will happen, because in mechanical engineering also AI is going to take over some of the
Yes.
jobs which are going on or which are happening
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
But what happens is with the advent of AI, products also are getting developed and getting adapted so that they can make the maximum use of the AI applications which are available. So if
Yes.
you are if you have this thing, key I would say aptitude for research and development, then it
Yeah.
would be something which is very good, because current
Yes.
products will have to be upgraded, will have to be adapted to be to be able to maximum utilize the benefits that AI gives. So I
Very
think
true.
this is the new kind of things, new
Yeah.
jobs which will happen. Routine
Absolutely.
jobs definitely
Yeah.
will slowly be eased out, because obviously AI will work much more efficiently than human beings.
Absolutely,
But
Mr. Bhattena.
I would still say that people need not panic that their jobs will be
Yes.
taken over by AI.
Yes.
What they need
Yes.
to do is upskill themselves,
Absolutely.
try to understand how they can take the benefit of AI and
Yeah.
upskill themselves so that the new challenges which will come, they will be ready to adapt to those.
Very true. That's a great point. And I just want to add a little bit to that. I think when automation is kicking in, what one should really focus on are the human skills that a machine cannot replicate. Things like your confidence, your courage, your leadership skills, your powerful communication skills, right? Because see, I think while everything else gets automated, what will be expected from employees is that they become these powerful leaders who are able to, of course, leverage technology, right? So that they can be more productive, and they're able to then manage people, as you said, manage people, orchestrate things really well. And that will only happen if one is a powerful communicator. So human skills are the skills that one needs to enhance in this new day and age, is what I feel. Would you agree to that, Mr. Bhattena?
Yes, yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because at the end of the day, in spite of all the automation, eventually you are not dealing with a machine, you will be dealing with a
Correct.
person. So human
Absolutely.
skills are required, and they will be, as you rightly said, more important, because then your leadership skills and other things which you talked about really will come to the fore, because then you will be, as a manager, you'll be managing people rather than managing processes will get automated, but people will still be there. So managing people remains a very, very important and big challenge in the days to come.
Absolutely. So, Mr. Bhattena, my last question to you is that what would you like to tell our viewers? Are there two or three things that you would like to share with them that can help aspiring leaders move to the next level in their career? So, if there are a few skills that you want to talk about, what should they do? And if you have a sort of a more concrete solution in terms of how they can go about doing it, that would be simply amazing for our listeners today.
Right. So I will, at the cost of repeating myself, I will say once again that once you have reached the middle management level and you aspire to grow and become a part, grow in the organization and go up the hierarchy, your people management skills are extremely important.
Absolutely.
And for people management skills, basically one of the key skills of leadership is people management, because after a certain period of time, all the challenges that you will face is in handling people. Other things you are already a master of. If there's a technical problem, you know how to solve it, because you have already the technology, you have mastered it. If there is some commercial issues, commercial problems come up, you have other people who you can speak with, who can help you to
Absolutely.
solve them.
Absolutely.
But if there are problems within your team,
Yeah.
most important, a leader cannot do anything on his own. A leader is as successful or as his team is. And so it's
Absolutely.
very, very important that he is able to carry his team with him.
Yes.
And for that, it is extremely important that he is a good people manager.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
one of the most important things in people management is communication. And in
Yes.
communication, something which is very, very important, but probably people do not pay much attention to, is the art of listening.
Yes.
Because when you are speaking to someone, when you have a sitting in a meeting, communication is a two-way street. If the
Yes.
person across the table feels that you are not listening to what he's trying to tell you,
Very
then
true.
your communication will break. So I think this is
Absolutely.
something which I really tell everyone,
Yeah.
that you may be a very good speaker, but at the
Yeah.
same time, you have to be a very good listener also.
Very true, Mr.
Because,
Bhatten. I
yeah,
totally, totally.
yeah, and there is a big difference
Yeah.
between hearing and listening.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I was
You have to
about to say that.
understand that difference,
Yes.
and you have to inculcate in yourself
Yes.
to become a good listener, so that you
Yeah.
understand what the person is telling you, and
Very
then
true.
appropriately you can respond. Then
Very
obviously,
true.
then your communication becomes productive.
Very true.
So,
Very true.
yeah,
I think majority of interpersonal issues in the organization happened because people don't listen, right? People always, while somebody is talking, they're already thinking of their response. Then they're not giving them full attention, right? And I think the
right.
best way to respect another human being is to give them your ear, is to patiently listen to them, let them finish, understand what they are saying, give them the benefit of doubt, and then open your mouths. So like they say,
Absolutely.
God has given us one mouth and two ears.
2 years.
That's an
Yeah, there's a
indication that
reason for
you
that.
should speak
Yeah.
less, listen more, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
clue. So fantastic. Thank you so much, Mr. Bhattena. I truly enjoyed talking to you. And I'm very sure that our viewers also found this conversation extremely beneficial. So thank you so much for being here. Once again, totally our pleasure to have you here. And I want to now tell the viewers to please share your thoughts and your comments in the comment section below. Make sure that you like and follow us for more because we'll keep coming back with these powerful conversations. Until then, take care. Have a wonderful day ahead.